We've got a 1/6 scale Rocketeer. The Rocker who? The Rocker who? It's a line from the film. Oh, for God's sake. How's it hanging, YouTube? It's Peter here, your Ginger Geordie Geek. Welcome back to the channel. So, today we're going to be looking at a black box Rocketeer and diorama base. Cannot wait to get into this. Rocketeer is a movie I've got really fond memories of. Really good film. Recommend you go and check that out. Before we get into the unboxing, if I can just encourage you to go back and look at some of my previous videos. If you like comic book related stuff, unboxings, live shows, vintage toys, and 1/6 scale figures. We've got all kinds of content, so please go and check that out. And if you like it, give us a like and a subscribe. Okay guys, let's just get on with it. This thing looks tremendous, although I have heard some negatives about it. Cannot wait to get into it. Let's just have a look. Okay, so first of all, the black box company. I've never heard of them. This is my first black box 1/6 scale toy. I don't know what else they've produced. So this is a bit of a gamble, I guess you would say. I picked this one up on the secondary market, but it's not a cheap figure. I paid around about £200, I think, all told for this one. The diorama base, you didn't have to get with it, but it's kind of a flame effect for the jetpack, and I thought, if I'm gonna get a Rocketeer, I might as well pick that up. So as you can see, the box itself is really quite nice. You've got a nice image of the actual figure there, holding his helmet. Side art, you've got another cool picture of the Rocketeer himself, holding his button, which ignites the jetpack. The costume on this looks absolutely stunning. I have heard some issues about this figure and about the costume, so I'm really keen to get into it and have a little bit of a look and see what I can do with it. Oh, look at that, man. On the back, you've got what I would class as a classic Rocketeer kind of stance with his little Luger gun and all the rest of it. He just looks phenomenal. I love that image. Now, what I have heard is that this bit here, all of these buttons are individual buttons, so you've got to kind of press them in, and they're a bit of a pain in the backside to get into. Like I say, I bought this one off the internet. It was second hand, I think, so I'm kind of hoping when I open the box this bit's already done for us, but we'll see. Oh, lush! I'm hoping the figure is as good as these images because it looks stunning. So anyway, that's the Rocketeer himself, and this does look a bit like the actor. I can't remember the guy's name, but to me it does have that very familiar look. Okay, the jetpack kind of explosive bit, it looks nice. It's got a nice image on the side. It's a very plain black box with black box written on it, in case you didn't know what a black box was. I'm joking, black box is the name of the company. So there we have it. Right guys, let's get him out and get all of his accessories and things put out for you to have a look at. So when we take the first foam layer off, you see the figure with his helmet, the gun, the holster, and you get this, which is quite interesting. This is some tiny little buttons, just in case they drop off, I guess. Little studs. He looks quite good. So we'll get him out in a second. There's your secondary layer, guys. As you can see, the jacket's not been done for us, which is a bit of a pain, but never mind. Interestingly, as soon as I've opened the top layer, you'll see there one of the little button things has come off. Don't know if you can see that on my finger, but one of the little button things just kind of fell out the package and landed there. So that's interesting. I'm not quite sure what that's off, but might have to do some glue repairs and whatnot on this thing. It looks fiddly, but you know what the hell, I'm gonna give it a shot. So there we have the diorama base, the kind of the rocket pack explosion. It comes with a controller and the batteries to light it up. I'm going to put that away at the moment until I get the figure and everything sorted. This thing is a chunky beast. It's a ton weight. It looks really nice. As you can see, the light kind of shining through it there. I'm impressed with that. It's much bigger and heavier than I thought it was going to be. It looks good, and it pegs into the back of his pack. So I'm looking forward to having a play with that. Okay, guys, so here I have the Rocketeer. Ooh, interesting. So, initial reaction when I've taken him out of the box is the figure is bloody horrible. The actual mould isn't the best. His face looks okay. The actual figure itself, I guess the face, but it looks quite plasticky. The shirt doesn't fit him at all. He's got a weird wobbly neck. His fists that are on him just look weird. Yeah, it's not a good body, I guess I would say. That said, everything else with him is pretty much amazing. I love it. The costume itself, feels tremendous. It's got this kind of leather feel. It looks really, really nice. That random little kind of stud thing, can't find where that goes. Can't see any of them missing. So I think it was just a loose one. You get with them, you know, your standard hands, but these things are really nicely done. As you can see, you know, we've got good molding on them. We've got the button kind of standing out there, which I really like. You get a couple of different kinds of changes of hands with the buttons in different places, so you can mess around with that. You've got his harness. This is the bit on the back, and the jetpack just kind of clips into that. It's got, like I say, a lovely leather effect. This is the flap for the front of the jacket. It's got a great feel to it. These press studs are going to be a nightmare to get on, but hey ho. You get his actual jacket, which is absolutely stunning. I cannot wait to get him into this thing. It just feels and looks beautiful. The jetpack itself. What am I going to say about the jetpack? It's nice. It's accurate. Just pegs into that jacket I showed you a second ago. It feels nice. It looks quite plasticky. It could do with a bit of weathering to me. Now, I've seen some images of people on Facebook who have weathered it, so I may give that a go myself. It looks like it could do with a bit of dust and grime on it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, overall, it's pretty cool. His holster looks nice. Again, I've heard people say that it's a bit big, but it'll just hang around him, so I'll have a go with that. His luger is a nice little good. It's got some movable parts, as you can see. It looks to me very accurate to what I remember from the comic and the film. Again, it could do with perhaps a little bit of weathering if you wanted to be a bit awkward about it all, but yeah, it looks nice. Biggest issue, I guess, is the helmet. It's got a skull cap thing in there to try and make it fit a bit better. It is huge. It's huge. And it does feel very plastic. I would have liked a die cast one, I think. And again, it could do with perhaps a little bit of weathering. I've got a feeling when I put it on his nut, it's going to be huge on him. Again, I've seen someone do a video where they've put this in hot water and kind of molded it to him a little bit more. I'm going to see what it's like myself. And if I feel confident, I might have a go at that. The actual figure, let's have a look. As I've said, the face sculpt isn't perhaps as good as I might have hoped. That said, it's not horrendous. The body feels a bit strange. Don't like the hands. Belt's nice. Shirts, cack. The pants are tremendous. Movie accurate. Boots are okay, but I've heard someone say before they've got the biggest laces you've ever seen. Don't know what that's all about. So I am going to have a bit play with them because they look ridiculous. So I will trim them off a little bit. So overall, what am I thinking? I'm thinking that this guy, once you get everything put on him, is going to look amazeballs. So that's what I'm going to do, guys. Spent friggin' ages putting the thing on, and then look, I've put the feckin' harness on wrong. Shit on it. Oh dear. Okay, guys, this figure. This is really quite hard for me because I love this character, and this figure does look pretty good when you get him all set up. But I'm going to be honest with you, this has been an absolute pig. Off camera, I've spent a long time trying to get this guy ready and set up. It's got some massive flaws for me personally, I have to say. I'm sure for some people they'll not mind, but for me it's got a lot of issues with it. That said, the final product looks great. I love the outfit, I love the costume and everything, I love the style of him. It looks nice, but there are some big issues, and I'm going to go through them with you just quickly now. First of all, these laces are just ridiculous. These have come undone a few times. They're just massive, and I don't understand why. So I am going to have a bit play with them and have a bit clip and try and get them tidied up a little bit. The hall stand stuff kind of hangs quite loosely. I've seen some reviewers say they don't like that. I like that. I think that looks good. It is this pleather kind of material, so it will degrade, I would imagine, but I quite like it. The costume is stunning, absolutely stunning. I need to play around and pull the sleeve down and stuff so it covers some of the joint work. The hands are pretty cool. Helmet is big. There's no denying that. He's a bit like a bobblehead here, so I'm going to have a bit play around with that and see if I can sort that out. So overall, the aesthetics of him, as you can see, I think he looks the biz. He looks like the Rocketeer. I do really, really like him. And once you get him kind of all set up and finished and posed and whatnot, that's how I'll be leaving them, I think. The display thing that comes with them, I love the effect. It does light up. I've got this in the light box, but I'll switch the lights off in a bit and show you that. So yeah, I love that. So that's the positives. Let's get on with some of the negatives. Already mentioned the boots. Laces are ridiculous. The hands, although they are nicely sculpted and nicely painted, it's a weird kind of texture. It's like sticky. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. The jetpack pegs into his back. It just doesn't sit right to me. I feel like it should be like that, you know. So I've pulled it off. Yeah, I just kind of feel like it should be sat flush on his back. So I'm not quite sure what that's going. So not quite sure what the issue with that is. As I've mentioned, helmet is massive. It wobbles about something rotten, but I guess once you've gotten posed, it'll look all right. I have seen stuff where people have put the helmet in water and kind of molded it on. To be honest, I'm not going to do that. I think it looks okay as it is. Now, biggest issue I've got here is this design. Whoever designed this needs shooting. It's mental. What can I say about it? I've got big sausage fingers. Putting all of these individual studs through the holes was an absolute friggin' nightmare for someone like me. It was just awful. It was a horrible thing to do. I lost 3 buttons doing it. So these buttons are just kind of very lightly stitched into the fabric of the coat. Trying to squeeze them and manipulate them. 3 of them have popped off, sorry. So they're currently attached with blue tack. So yeah, I'm going to have to do some repairs and try and fanny on and try and fix that as best I can. Took us about 20-30 minutes to do that. Like I say, I have got sausage fingers. Finally got the chest piece on, so was over the moon, got it on quite successfully, and then realised that I'd left the harness off. So I had to undo all of the buttons to put the harness on, which goes underneath, you see that, and then put it all back on again. Like I said, lost a number of buttons, so this is literally at the moment blue tacked in place in a lot of areas to try and hold it steady. That said, it looks brill. It looks amazing. I like it. I really do like it. But yeah, I'm going to have to try and fix it because I'm petrified now. There's 3 of these buttons are just going to pop off and I'm going to lose them, which will spoil the entire aesthetic of the costume. My other issue is this holster. Again, they've got these weird little peg things everywhere. The peg doesn't stay in properly. So to keep the holster shut, I've had to put a bit of blue tack on that as well. I've used a lot of blue tack on this one. My other issue is the gun. The gun fits into this hand, but the gun just feels totally missized. It just doesn't look right. So here we've got the Luger in the hand. It just, I don't know, it just feels weird. I presume that the finger is supposed to go through that, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to snap that. It doesn't, do you see what I mean? It just doesn't look like it's the right size gun for the hand. Really weird. I will have a play with it and see what we can do. So sounds like I'm being really negative, and that's because I am. I wanted to absolutely love this figure because the Rocketeer is one of my favorite characters. I do like it. I do really like it, and I think once I've got it all set up and posed and all the rest of it, it'll look pretty cool. But I have to say, it's not a one I would recommend people rush out and get unless they really love the character of the Rocketeer. There's just too many issues stacking up against it for me. Okay, I'm going to put the proximity light on so you can see what that looks like. So there we have them, guys. I'm just going to switch the light on so you can see what that effect looks like. Ooh. So yeah, see, it does look really pretty special, I have to say. I really do like the effect of the flame. It looks good. It does look good. There's no denying that. Oh, just such a frustrating figure. Such a frustrating figure, because it really could be spectacular. Okay, guys, just a bit of a quick update on the Rocketeer figure. I feel I've been a little bit negative. Um, I've spent the morning, and it really has taken us the morning. It's taken us quite a while. So if you're not up to putting a bit of work into this figure, I still would recommend not buying it. But I have spent the morning playing around with them. So using my tremendous skills, I've managed to stitch the buttons back on. I'm not convinced I'm ever going to get the jacket off because I've kind of gone through multiple layers and things, I think. But I have stitched the jacket back on, the buttons and all the rest of it, and it looks amazing, I have to say. I've also, you might be able to see, I've also had a bit play around with the boots. I hated the laces, so I have tied knots in them and I've cut off the big floppy lacy bits. I just couldn't cope with them. I've decided not to play around with the helmet. I actually like the helmet. I've mucked around with the gun in a few poses, as you can see. The gun doesn't look as bad as I first thought. I'm still not particularly convinced with it. And I have moved the shirt around a little bit. So I try to pull the jacket so it covers the seams and all that kind of jazz. So I'm revising my negativity a little bit. I have to say I love this figure. If you're willing to put some time and effort into playing with it and into getting the buttons right, stitching a few buttons on, because like I say, they are pigs, they pop off quite easily, and then spend a bit of time posing them and all the rest of it, he's an amazing looking figure. It looks like the Rocketeer. So despite having shoved a needle through my fingers on a number of occasions, I'm a happy ginge. I'm happy with this figure. Okay guys, thanks very much, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.